Hey y'all, I'm Danny, and this is Heard. Hi guys, welcome back to Heard the Podcast. I'm your host Danny, and I'm here with my engineer J Rob. Say hi to everybody, J Rob.
What's good, y'all?
Okay, so we're back for another episode, and you guys need to make sure that you're subbed up on YouTube. HER apostrophe D the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed. We are also on TikTok. We're on TikTok at HerdPod, HERDPOD. Make sure you're followed up on TikTok as well. Repost some things. We have fun over there. We clip up things and all those good things. You can listen to the podcast on any podcast platform that you desire. It's also available in podcast format on YouTube as well, along with the full visual on YouTube. So make sure you guys follow and subscribe and comment, like, share with a friend, all those things. We have some goals for this. Okay.
Exactly.
Anywho, but I do appreciate the people that like the videos and comment and DM me and repost and reshare and follow on TikTok, all those things. Building a little bit of a community or whatever. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cute. It's super cute right now. So, yeah. But anywho, J Rob, how was your week so far?
It's been great so far. Very productive week.
Very productive.
Yes.
So I wanted to play like a little game with you, J Rob.
Okay.
I want to play a little game with you because usually, we do how I would have guests on here and I would do like the this or that or whatever, right, and whatever. So just so we can get to know y'all can get to know J-Rob a little bit more. I want to play a little game. So are you a Denzel Washington fan, J-Rob?
For sure.
Okay. So I want to I'm going to name a couple of movies.
Okay.
I'm going to name 5 Denzel Washington movies, and I want you to rank them. I want you to rank them from top to bottom or whatever. Okay. So here are the 5 movies.
Okay.
American Gangster.
Mm-hmm.
Training Day.
Okay.
John Q. Remember the Titans, and Antoine Fisher. I want you to, those are 5 movies, and I want you to rank them from top to bottom. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, there's plenty more I can say.
There's way too many.
There's plenty more I can say. I can really shake the table with some more stuff, but I'm gonna keep it cute and light for you. So again, y'all, it's American Gangster, Training Day, John Q, Remember the Titans, and Antoine Fisher. I want J-Rob to rank those from top to bottom.
All right, bet. So number 1 is Training Day for me.
Okay.
Okay, American Gangster number 2.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Dang, Antoine Fisher and the John Q. Like, dang, dog. Like, it's between. Hey yo. All right, I'm gonna put Remember the Titans 3.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with dang. I might go with Antoine Fisher, then John Q.
So you said your number 1 is American Gangster. No, your number 1 is Training Day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then your number 2 is what?
American
Gangster. And then your number 3 is what?
Remember the Titans.
And then your number 4 is?
Antoine Fisher.
And then the last one is John Q. So you rank John Q at the bottom?
It's not. It was either 4 or 5. Either one of those is going to switch out. But John Q was crazy. John Q was crazy, though. I was going to put that 3.
What did he say? He said, I don't want to bury my son. I want my son to bury me.
That was crazy. Yeah, that movie is deep.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Not what you mixing them.
Hey. Remember when Jamie Foxx was like, get your motherfucking hands off me.
Hey, dog. Oh my God!
Get your motherfucking hands off me.
Hey, yeah. Nah, that's tough though. No. All right, I take that back. I was gonna go with John Q 4 and then Antoine Fisher last. I got the 2 mixed up. My bad. Yeah, John Q.
Okay,
4.
John Q was still at the bottom for you. Okay.
No, it's not the bottom. It's not the bottom. Look,
what's your favorite Denzel line?
Dang, it's so many though. It's so many. It's definitely a Training Day line.
Because what did he say? He was like, oh, you mother. What did he say? What he saying for Training Day? He was just like, what he got? Because he said King Kong ain't got shit on me, but he said it after he said like, oh, you mother.
Right.
So he did some shit in Training Day. I forgot. I forgot what he said.
It's too many though. It's too many.
Okay.
I gotta. Yeah. It's too many of them. It's too many of them. But he got so many movies though. Like those are just the tip of the iceberg. We ain't get to like Mo Better Blues and all that. Like,
I didn't want to. I told you I could really shake the table for real. Exactly. If you want me to one day, we'll go back and forth one day. But I was like, let me keep it cute and light. Even them is some bangers right there. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
Anywho, okay, I have another one for you. Because I came across they were doing like Mount Rushmores of like horror killers. Yeah. And so it all started because someone posted a Mount Rushmore of Ghostface from Scream, Jigsaw, Chucky, and the Splinter guy with Hellraiser. Is it Hellraiser or the guy with this one right here?
Oh dang, that's
Splinter something.
Nah, it's Hell. I think it's Hellraiser though.
Hold on, is that Hellraiser?
I think.
But what's the killer name?
I don't know. I don't even remember his name.
Let me see. Let me make sure. Hold on. Hellraiser.
I just remember Hellraiser. Yeah, cause yeah.
Pinhead. Yeah. His name's Pinhead. So yeah, it was a Mount Rushmore of Ghostface from Scream, Jigsaw, Chucky, and Pinhead, and it pissed everybody off because they're like, "What? Where Michael Myers? Where Jason? Where?" Right. So someone corrected it and posted their own, where the Mount Rushmore consisted of Ghostface from Scream, Freddy Krueger. Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, which is my personal Mount Rushmore. Like them four, I feel like them four walked so Jigsaw and all of them can run, in my opinion. Right? So I have a question. I have another ranking question for you. Okay. Out of Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and the Ghostface from Scream, how would you rank them from top to bottom?
I bet so. Out of these four?
Yes. How do you rank them top to bottom? Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Ghostface. Top to bottom. Let's do bottom to top. Give it some more suspense. Bottom to top. Go start from 4 down to 1.
For real, the way this joint looking, yeah, it's from bottom to top to me. Because Michael Myers is definitely at the.
I want you to go from 4 to 1.
Bottom. All right, bet. So the Scream.
That's 4 for you.
Yeah.
Why?
That's 4. It was cool. Like. It was a cool character, but it wasn't like no memorable for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just cool. I know who he was, but it was cool. Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger is at number 3 for you?
No. My bad. Jason, my bad.
Jason is at number 3 for you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough list.
Okay.
It's a tough list.
Okay. Why? Why is he at number 3 for you?
I like Jason. The goriness. Well, no.
Okay, it is gory.
Yeah, it's very gory. His level of gory was like definitely should have been number 2, but his level of gory was crazy. Yeah, no.
How do you feel about him as a killer overall, though?
Right. Dang. Because Mike Myers definitely at the top for me as far as killers.
Okay.
But they was like the same.
Talk about Jason first. You have to go. You have to go down. You have to go.
I see the big picture. But as far as his killing goes,
like how do you feel about him as a killer? Like
he was cool. He was cool as a killer. Damn, if we in my
opinion, yes, murderers, they're killers, they're horror killers.
I know that, I'm saying if we're judging by that, then Freddy is number 3. To me.
Really?
Yeah. Just to me, though.
Freddy's number 3 for you? Like, I would think that he would be your top 2.
He was until you said.
Because for me, I'm not mad at Jason. Well, to me, I feel like Jason should be at number 4, only because I feel like he wasn't very clever to me. It was just like, I feel like it was always set up for him. Does that make sense? Like you have to go to Camp Crystal Lake for him to fuck you up and like do shit to you, and like he didn't seem very clever. It didn't seem very clever. Like you had to be in a trap. You had to fuck up and get into that yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like someone like Ghostface, where it's like he could be one of your friends, bitch. Like he could be anybody.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's for me. Jason would be number 4 for me. Okay. Even though like he would be number 4 for me. Mm-hmm. But so your number 4 is Ghostface, and you said your number 3 is what?
My number 3 is I switched it around. So
to Freddy?
Yes.
Okay, so why is Freddy your number 3?
It's like so these are like my decisions is based off impact to me.
Okay.
So it's not.
Okay, so I'm asking you why. So why?
So it's like they was cool. Like he was cool slasher and all that, but it wasn't memorable to me like that.
You don't think Freddy Krueger was memorable to you?
Not like Michael Myers.
Okay,
it's memorable.
So who's your?
But it's not like how Michael Myers is. Like I can remember his shit.
Okay. Okay.
So no, let me switch those around.
Okay.
3 is on Jason and then Freddy, and then we got Michael Myers.
So Michael's at your number 1. Freddy's number 2 for you.
Yeah.
3 is Jason, and 4 is Ghostface.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ghostface, yes.
So why is Michael number 1 for you?
It's just impactful. It's like the music, like all of that shit. Yeah, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just iconic. Exactly. See? Look, you can play a piano and be like, oh shit, Michael Myers about to be running away.
Okay, for me, because I'm a scary movie girl. I love it.
I know. I feel it.
Okay. My number 4 would be Jason again, because I said I don't think he's that clever, whatever. He does show like he has like immunity and stuff, like because all these killers show that they're like immortal in some way, even though you can kill them,
right?
They're all like immortal, right? So Jason's number 4 for me. Number 3. Because I'm ranking the killers, not the franchise or whatever. I mean, it's taking into account the franchise as well. But as killers, number 4, Jason. Number 3, the only reason I'm going to say, okay, my number 3 is Freddy, because, but I do okay. So Freddy is the most clever I think he's the smartest one out of all of them, in my opinion. And the fact that he can fuck you up in your dreams, I'll see you in your dreams, bitch, like. Don't go to sleep. I'm coming for you. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, and the little girls jump rope, and that's creepy as fuck. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, what is it? Some. I forgot how the other numbers go.
I definitely remember the first.
But he was the so I think Freddy is the most clever. But he's my number 3 because the impact for me is just like. I've only fucked with really the original Freddy for real. In my opinion, like I feel like I fuck with the original Freddy and the New Nightmare movie with when they had the original girl play in New Nightmare.
Gotcha.
So when it comes to the sequels, the Freddy sequels, I'm not really too crazy about that. Like I'm not really too crazy about the Freddy sequels for real. But I feel like Freddy is the most clever killer, and I feel like he is the most unique killer out of all the 4. But he's my number 3. My number 2. The only reason I'm going to
Hey, it's tough. That's tough.
Fuck. Hold on.
Candyman. Say no.
Fuck. Hold on. Okay. The only reason I'm going to say Ghostface is number 2, even though like Ghostface has the most replay value to me, I still watch all the Screams to this day. That's like right. I love Scream. Scream is my favorite. All the Screams, they're my favorite. Scream is my favorite franchise. I love Ghostface. Like I literally was Ghostface for like 6 Halloweens in a row when I was younger. Like I'm so fucking serious. And I had the Ghostface where like you can squish the thing and it's blood. There's blood on the mask. I had that shit. I was Ghostface for 6 Halloweens in a row, honey. I was okay. And I love that franchise, and I love how it's a new killer every movie and stuff like that. And for me, I just feel like Scream has the most replay value out of all of them. And I could watch each sequel and feel a different way and still not be ashamed of it, like I would like certain Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And the reason I'm going to give Michael Myers number 1 is because I feel like Michael walked so a lot of y'all niggas could run. Okay, and I feel like Halloween is the OG slasher movie in my opinion, and I feel like he was the most, he wasn't like mystical like Freddy, but I feel like Michael was the most immortal. It's like, could you kill this nigga? Like they finally killed him in 2023. Like, and right. they finally wrapped that nigga up. Like, but he been walking around since the 70s, right. killing people and breaking out of damn hospitals and shit. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like I feel like Michael walked so a lot of them could run. And like Laurie Strode, like that's an iconic character. Like Sidney Prescott is iconic, but like there will be no Sidney Prescott if it wasn't for like a Jamie Lee Curtis, like Laurie Strode, in my opinion. Like, so that's why I'm saying that. So yeah, Michael is the top one for me.
He's definitely the top. Any honorable mentions?
Candyman, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Let me see. Any honorable mentions? Shit, I don't know. Shit. What was Leatherface? What was that one? What movie was that?
Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess he was. That was like another version of Jason for me. Because they would always have to go, and the teens would, oh my god, let's drive and take this road trip here, and oh my gosh, let's have fun. Oh no, killer! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Jigsaw, all of them.
Oh, Jigsaw, that's a scary one. I can't get through too many saws. I can't do that. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't get through too many saws. I'm not gonna hold you, honey.
Saw is crazy. Yeah.
I can't get through too many of them suckers.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Anywho, I'll come back next week for another one.
There you go. I like it.
Huh?
I like it. Send me the stuff so I can.
I don't want you. No, I don't want you thinking too much now, because you're gonna give me a rehearsed ass answer.
I'm not.
Anywho, you said what?
I don't give rehearsed answers.
Anywho, let's get on to a couple of quick mentions before we get to the Herd on the Curb. Did you hear, J. Rob, that they are officially closing down Six Flags on Central Avenue in Largo, Maryland?
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Man, that was a staple.
That was a lot of people's first job.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't mine. My first job was McDonald's, but a lot of people's first job was Six Flags.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who worked at that Six Flags. It's like, what's going to replace it, man?
Okay, so I'm going to read the post. This is from the DMV Daily Instagram page. It says Six Flags Entertainment Corporation CEO Richard Zimmerman announced that the decision was based on financial considerations and that the park's 500-acre property would be put up for sale. This is a quote. As part of a comprehensive review, we determined Six Flags America and Hurricane Harbor no longer align with our long-term plans, Zimmerman said. He added that selling the land for redevelopment is expected to yield the highest return on investment. The park originally opened in 1974 as a wildlife preserve and theme park and later became Six Flags America in 1999. While the future for the park employees remains uncertain, Six Flags' 70 corporate associates will be offered severance packages and benefits. Thank God for that. This was a difficult decision, Zimmerman noted, and we are grateful to our associates who have created lifelong memories for our guests.
For sure.
How do you feel? I don't even remember the last time I went to I think I went to Six Flags. Like, I don't even. I've been to Kings of Maine, child.
Everybody went to Kings of Maine.
Because Six Flags right there. Six Flags down the street from my grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? I can walk to Six Flags from my grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kings of Maine was different too. It was just a different vibe.
You said what?
It was a different vibe when you went to Kings of Maine. Different.
It was
vibe.
more of a grand, like, this is we're traveling down here to go here real quick. Even though it's in Virginia,
Yeah.
we had to drive. We had to really drive. We had to really pack like picnic lunches and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We wanted to give that experience.
Come back at night, same day.
So come back at night, same day.
Yeah. It was very lit. You know.
I remember my mom made mac and tuna salad for us, like in the cooler.
Oh yeah.
Baby, it was a situation for Kings of Maine, honey. We had the big cooler with the food in there, the drinks and all of that.
Right.
Sat on the little benches and had the little food or whatever.
Right. Oh, man.
Oh, the funnel cakes. I was a funnel cake girl, but I was so particular. Like, growing up, I like to have everything plain. Like, my funnel cake can only have the powder sugar on it, nothing else. Plain funnel cake, that's it, with the powder on it. That's it. I could eat it without the powder, honey. I was like that. Like, I didn't start putting ketchup and pickles on my sandwiches until like I was like 13. Okay. Like, it was like I would be like plain, no, just cheese and burger. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
I would be like plain.
Nothing.
I didn't eat ketchup on my hot dog. I still eat plain hot dogs.
Okay.
But like, people would, like, my family was like, you just eat hot dog and bun, nothing else, no nothing. I said, yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah, to this day I don't need ketchup on my hot dog. I'll eat it plain, honey. They like, this bun and dog, that's it? Yeah.
That's the survivor package.
Oh.
It's like, ain't nothing wrong with that though.
It was a choice, honey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was a choice. I was well fed. Okay, I've been big all my life. I was well fed. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I've been big all my life. Anywho, but how you feel? Like, how you feel that? Like,
about the Six Flags situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great landmark. We're gonna miss it for sure. Definitely gonna miss it. Yeah, just looking forward to what's gonna be there. Somebody said, a lot of people keep saying Iverson Mall last
oh, it showed because Iverson Mall still up and kicking. But you know what, Iverson Mall, they save it by building them restaurants right there. Exactly. Like the Hook and Reel is there.
Exactly.
It's a Chipotle right there. I think it's a Quick Way right there, and it's a America's Best, right, or like a Wingstop or something like that.
I think so. I think it's a rib place, soul food place.
See, like the food will save it every time. The food will save it every time because the Fulls Mall still up and running too, ain't they?
Yeah.
That Heaven's Bakery, honey. Woo.
They close a lot of stores, but
the Heaven's Bakery is still up and running, honey, and it is still good to this day.
Nah, for real, that ain't good. I think
Heaven's Bakery, Great Cookie don't got shit on Heaven's Bakery, okay? Don't got shit on them. No, I'm serious. The Great Cookie don't got shit on Heaven's Bakery at Forest Village Park Mall, okay?
Not Forest Village.
Forest Village Park Mall, okay?
Yeah, go right in the middle of the mall. That's the best bakery. One of the best bakeries out here.
Just shoot. You can park this right there by the door. Just park the car, walk in there, cookies, out. Yeah. Peace.
Yeah.
I don't need to come in here and shop.
Yeah.
Target where? What? Please, Target.
Hey, it's yeah.
Anywho, okay. So on to Heard on the Curb. Heard on the Curb is our pop culture topic segment of the program. Yes. So here we go. Okay. So it's pretty light. It's pretty light. But I do want to. It's pretty light, but I do want to discuss some things. So I will say that Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour has officially kicked off. She did 2 nights in LA, and I've been watching clips. I haven't bought a Cowboy Carter ticket. I was like, oh, my fundables are low this year. I'm trying to be smart with my fundables, and that lady has gotten a lot of my money with Renaissance. The whole Renaissance era, Beyonce took a lot of my money. I had my wallet wide open for her during Renaissance. I was like, please, Beyonce, I can't do it. I can't do it this year. I can't do it, child. I don't know what to do. But I don't know. From the clips I've seen. Mm-hmm. The production is still top tier. For sure. Even though there has been some malfunctions and people was like, oh shit, I know she fired a couple folks backstage.
Yeah, she don't play that.
But no, like it like I love how she's fusing Renaissance with Cowboy Carter. I love the mechanical bulls and stuff that she has. I love the outfits for this one as well. I just love the cowboy theme. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll try to get some tickets last minute, and maybe I'll luck up with the prices. Maybe, I don't know. I just bought Chris Brown tickets, so that was that. And I'm still trying to wait around to luck up with some Kendrick Lamar tickets as well. So because he's doing all the big dogs doing stadium tours this year. So these are all stadium tours. So
facts.
Anywho, yes. So this go around, Blue Ivy is really like dancing her ass off. Like she has really been in rehearsals, and she's like an official like Beyonce dancer. Like she's not just coming out on a couple songs and like being a featured dancer. Right. Like she's being a featured dancer, and on top of that, she's dancing. She's involved in the routines with the other professional dancers. Like she's really becoming a star in front of her eyes. Like she's really legit. Like she's a legit dancer, and I feel like, have you seen her clips?
Yeah, I saw.
Like she's really going. Yes, like she's really like she's like stiff wear. Like she really like improved, and I love how she just wants to be with her mom, and she just wants to like be a dancer, and she wants to perform with her mom. I know that she admires her mom and her dad as like these huge stars the same way that we do. And she's like, oh, I want to be up there with you, mom. I want to really do it. And then you can tell that she's so young. She's only 13, and that you can tell that she's super dedicated.
Yeah, she put the work in.
She put the work in the rehearsals, like, and she is like really like giving it her all. Like she's really, you know how dancers or just like any athletic person, like when it's time to perform, they just let it all out on the floor, on the yard, on the field, on the court. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like she's doing that, and I love that. I love that for her. So she's just. That's a fact. Remember when Beyonce was pregnant at the MTV VMAs, and then remember when Blue Ivy was in the crowd, like doing her little woke up like this in the crowd, and then now look at her on stage, like really dancing on tour with her mom. Yeah. Like she's really involved in the choreography in multiple songs. Yeah. Like we see her throughout the concert, like dancing and the thing is like it's so good because you see her dancing with the dancer. She blends right in with the professional dancer. She's a professional dancer. Like, you know, pretty much. Like you put enough work in, that becomes a profession for you. Right. So, I don't even care if she can sing or not. For real. I don't need her to sing. Like you know, because like when you are successful, you create better opportunities for your children. So like she wouldn't even have to be a singer or whatever. She could navigate and become her own, and it just, I feel like her parents are laying out the foundation for her, and I love that. I love seeing it. I love how she took the criticism, even with the Renaissance. She took the criticism from the first time she went on stage, and she just got better and better and better. So every time we see her on stage, she gets better and better and better and better and better.
Shout out Blue Ivy.
And then also, Beyonce brought out Rumi for a performance for Protector. Brought Rumi out, and that was beautiful. And that was beautiful, and they shared a moment on stage. Rumi hugged her, and then on the second night of LA, Beyonce brought out her mom, because her Miss Tina, she just dropped a book, and I believe she's the #1 New York New York Times bestseller. Yeah, she's the New York Times bestseller for her book. So she brought her out on stage for LA Night 2, and so the whole family was on stage. Her, the mom, Blue Ivy, and little Rumi Carter.
I think she was just here too.
I think she's about either was here or about to be here. But I know that Keke Palmer just did a talk with her on stage. So I don't know, was she in DC or she? I know she's about to be in.
I think it was MGM or something.
Oh, maybe she was MGM just now then. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And I know Kelly. It was packed. Yeah, she was packed. Oh, you was there?
I didn't go. I mean, I went. I drove past there.
Oh, it was traffic.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Them book tours be something crazy. Yeah. Would you ever write a book, J-Rob?
Yes.
Ooh, that would be good. What would you write it about?
It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot of things. I gotta live a little bit more to write.
What do you have an idea of, like for your first one?
For my,
because I know like Charlemagne, like he has like 3 books out at this point.
Yeah, his books is good. I don't think an autobiography type of deal.
You wouldn't do that?
Not right now. At least not right now.
So you would give more so like advice or something like that, or like how would you? Yeah, like on finances or something like that.
Life lessons, shit like that.
I went to one of Charlemagne's book signings. I met him in DC years ago for the, what's it called, Black Privilege book he did.
Well, the second one or the first?
The first book. And he had Angela Rye up there moderating it for him. So I met her as well. We were in DC. I think it was like, I forgot where we was at. I think we was by somewhere. We was in DC somewhere, but I met him and Angela Rye. Oh dang. Yeah. So. Nice. But anywho, so I wanted to discuss something. While we're talking about Cowboy Carter and Beyonce's daughters and stuff, and I want to talk about this, and I'm going to make sure that I'm very clear and respectful, because I know that this show, for the most part, like, of course, I'm articulating certain things about different pop culture topics, and like a lot of times it's like surface level or whatever, or fun or whatever. But I also want to be transparent, and I also want to be, even though this is like an escape for some people, podcasting, and like, and it's an escape for me, like, in my weekly 9 to 5 or whatever. But I do want to touch base on some serious things, and I tried to start with that, with the whole Tyler thing, talking about African heritage and things like that. So I want to discuss the discourse around Rumi Carter. Let me just see how old she is for a second. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me make sure, because I think they're probably like 7 or at this point. Let me see.
Yeah, I think so. Damn, time be moving.
Rumi and Sir are 7 years old. Okay.
7?
Yes, they're 7. I think they're going to be 8 this year. Yes. So I wanted to make sure. So before I go into this discussion, I want to make sure that you all know that I am intending on being very respectful, and before I touch on certain topics, like just certain serious topics, I always, you don't know this, but I'll go behind the scenes and I'll call around to people that relate to it or have more information about it before I talk about it. And I also ask for permission to discuss certain things, because a lot of times when we're discussing things, I draw back to my own experience. And sometimes my experience may involve other people. So I make sure that I ask permission when it comes to certain serious topics, right? So I wanted to talk about the discourse around Rumi Carter, because, there's like little rumblings, when it comes to Beyonce's twins, Rumi and Sir, about, people question, their, I guess, intellectual level, or like, whether they have certain, a lot of times, the term, autism is, thrown around in regards to Rumi and Sir. And I wanted to discuss that a little bit, especially with how Kanye kind of went off that day, and it was I didn't talk about it on the show because I didn't want to talk about that mess because it's gross. But Beyonce made it a point to, and of course she loves her. We know that they're parents and they love their children, and they never hid their kids from us. They're very particular in, the amount of exposure that they give their kids, but they never hid their kids from us. But she made sure to lift up Rumi on that stage that night, and to make sure she showed Sir on that screen, even though she does that all the time anyway. Right. But especially after, discussion with Kanye and how he disrespected their kids and all that stuff. But, so there is like a current, conversation around like, Rumi and Sir, and whether they may be autism or on the spectrum and things like that. And so I'm going to talk about this a little bit. And I was kind of apprehensive at first because I'm like, this is a touchy topic, but I'm going to talk about it because for a couple of reasons. I have autism in my family. I have a cousin, one of my older cousins. She has 2 children that are autistic. Okay, one of them is 15, and one of them is 11. The boy is 15, the girl is 11. And I really wanted to discuss this because Rumi, I'm not diagnosing any child because it's not my business either. But Rumi, when I see Rumi, especially on stage at night, she reminds me of my little cousin so much. Like, she acts just like my little cousin, right? And I made sure to ask my cousin if I could talk about this, and I'm actually going to call her in a second. But I wanted to discuss it because people, in the comments and stuff, I read comments, and they would bring up, potential, they would inquire whether she's on the spectrum, Rumi's on the spectrum or not. And sometimes the comments are like, oh my gosh, you guys are sick. Is she just a child that's excited? She's just excited, a child that's excited, blah, 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 right? So people would try to shoot it down, or people would try to people would get offended at someone in the comments bringing it up, or maybe inquiring on, whether she's on the spectrum or not, or, her and the little brother. So I came across a TikTok from a young woman, and it's a little long, so I'm going to play a snippet of it. I'm not going to play all of it. And she discussed some of the discourse surrounding Rumi. So I'm going to play a little bit of it right now.
I'm going to say something, and I really don't care if people agree, and what I'm about to say is not a dig, because saying somebody has autism is not an insult. And no, I'm not diagnosing anybody, but all I'm going to say is my son has autism, and Rumi Carter acts just like my son. At least the clips I've seen of her. She waves all the time. That's not a problem. I'm not saying if she's waving or she's joyful that those are traits of autism, but like even how when she gets really excited on stage, she'll hug her mom. My son does that, and it's because it's like they just get filled with so much joy and excitement, they just have to get it out. And I've seen people's comments of like, Rumi acts like she's meeting Beyonce for the first time, like, every night she's on stage or whatever. And it's not that. It's just she has a lot of energy and joy and love, and so she has to like hug to kind of get it out. My son does that. So my son is on the spectrum. It is not a dig to say somebody is autistic. No, we don't know. Hopefully Beyonce, again, if she's on the spectrum, hopefully Beyonce will come out and say it. And people are like, well, Beyonce doesn't, want to share that with us, or people drag her kids, and this is why, she doesn't want to say anything. I mean, Beyonce hasn't came out and said it, and people are dragging her kid now. So I don't know how much different it would be if she did come out and confirm at some point, yes, she's on the spectrum. But I really hope we break the stigma of people being on the spectrum, because it's a spectrum. And I understand how people are like, oh, well, they've never seen a kid be joyful and stuff. And it's not that. It's other things. It's not just about her being joyful, So, again, I don't care if people disagree with me or not. I really don't care about what anybody got to say. Another thing that I did see, though, is when Rumi, Blue, Beyonce, and Miss Tina were on stage, and again, if you don't have an autistic child, well, even if you do, because, again, it's a spectrum, but, like, I've seen that look before, and it's because adults can feel like you're doing too much, calm down, but at least for my autistic son, because I can't speak for everybody on the spectrum, he gets excited. He'll jump up and down. He'll flap his hands. For her, it's waving. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, she could just be a joyful 7-year-old. But what I'm saying is, again, my son is on the spectrum, and they have a lot of similar behaviors, and I really wish we wouldn't, speak about autism as if it's dragging somebody or.
Okay, so I cut it off, but you get the gist of it. This is a TikToker. Her name on TikTok is what's wrong now _ So, and I feel like I watched, it's a 9-minute video and I watched the whole thing, but she was basically saying like, if someone's inquiring on it, it's not always a drag. It's not a drag. Let's embrace it. Let's be more knowledgeable of it, because at some point in the video, she was saying like, 10 years ago, people had to keep that their child's autistic a secret. They had to keep things a secret. They couldn't be more open about it. But now you see a lot of a lot of entertainers, a lot of celebrities are more open about their kids being autistic. Fat Joe, I think the Braxtons have an autistic child in their family. I can't remember which I don't know if it's I'm not sure which sister, but one of the sisters has an autistic son, I believe. Other people are coming out with, hey, my son, I think Roddy Ricch came out on Easter and said that his child is autistic. Yeah. And so it's just like, it's not always a drag. And, I was talking to my cousin today when I was asking for permission to say this. She was just like, a lot of times when people get offended, they're projecting onto you because they don't like it. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing wrong with your child if they are autistic. Mm-hmm. And, as a parent, like, I'm not a parent yet, but I do want to be a mom one day. And just, even if you're a mom or dad or whatever, like, as parents, when you find out that you're expecting a child, you just hope that your child is healthy. You go to the doctor and the doctor checks for a heartbeat. You want to make sure there's a healthy heartbeat. You want to make sure, when the fetus is developed and stuff, when you have the ultrasounds, you want to make sure, okay, there's 10 fingers and 10 toes. Mm-hmm. There's this and that. You want to make sure there's all these things. But you never, when it comes to children, when it comes to bringing life into this world, you never know what God is going to bless you with. So I just feel like it's okay we should all have these conversations to condition ourselves to know how to navigate and to know how to embrace different people. I feel like, I just feel like, like, I don't like how it's like, oh my God, she's just a normal kid being happy. Are you mad about that? It's not about that all the time. It's just like people are saying this because they see something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not my business. I'm not diagnosing her. I'm just saying this has been a topic, and I have autism in my family. And I remember when my cousin had, because her first son, her son and her daughter, she has a son and daughter. Her son is 15, her daughter is 11. Her son is the same age as my niece. Mm-hmm. They're the same age. And I remember when we found out that he may have autism, because my niece, was a certain way. She was talking and stuff. But when it was time for him to talk, he wasn't really talking that much. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Then that's when then she had her second child. And then it's like, okay, her second child is more out there, is more expressive. Her second child, my little cousin, acts just like Rumi. Acts just like Rumi. So that's why I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, it's not a dig. So I'm going to call my cousin, and she's going to talk a little bit, because she is a mom with 2 autistic children, lovely children. And they're, first of all, my two little cousins, they are beautiful and they are smart. Her daughter has a huge personality, and every time I'm around her daughter, she brings joy. Her son is smart and so special. He's such a special human. Like, and she told me one time, like, and I'm gonna call her. She told me one time, like, doctors told her that, like, your kids may not ever be able to do XYZ, mm-hmm. and they're doing XYZ that the doctor said they couldn't do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her real quick. Hold on. Let me see. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Okay. So, you're on recording right now. It's not live, so I can edit it if you want me to or whatever. But okay, so we're on the topic of Rumi, and I brought you up and about how you are a mother of 2 children on the spectrum, and I wanted you to talk about how, like, that has been going, and, like, I guess from, like, you want to talk about how you found out and, like, how you've been, like, navigating it, and, like, maybe talk a little bit about how people are responding to, like, Beyonce's kids, and, like, inquiring on if they're on the spectrum or not, and, like, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, Xavier, he was born back in 2010, mm-hmm. And, I want to say when he was about, like 14 months, probably even before that, before his first birthday, my mom, she noticed that he wouldn't respond to his name. Like you would call his name and he wouldn't turn to you. Like he just started showing signs. And then we went and, took him to see a doctor. And, he got his diagnosis. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit in denial at first because, that's hard. I didn't know what autism was, and it's like, I, kind of knew, but I didn't know. And then it's like you find something like that out. And it's like you go through this process, you kind of grieve a bit because it's so much uncertainty. You don't know if your child is going to be nonverbal. You don't know if they're going to, be able to walk or do certain things, if they're going to, what kind of classes they're going to be in. So it's like, it's all this uncertainty. And, with Zoe, by that point, that was like 3 years later.
So describe like Xavier on the spectrum and then describe Zoe on the spectrum.
Okay, well, with Xavier, he's very sensitive to touch and, especially sounds. He's very more, like very, very sensitive, and he's very, loses focus, he just can't focus a lot, but however, his language, is a bit more ahead of Zoe's. Zoe, she's not as sensitive to touch, but. And
how old is Zoe?
Zoe right now she's 11.
Okay.
And Xavier he's 14.
Okay.
So they're very similar in a lot of ways, but with Xavier he's very like shy. Very how you hear about autistic people who are introverted, and they're like real shy, like not a lot of eye contact. That's him. But Zoe, she's way more social. She's more of the kind of, she's on the spectrum where she kind of doesn't understand certain social cues in terms of, what's appropriate to say or, maybe touching people. Xavier doesn't want to be touched, but she'll touch. He's sensitive to sound. She will talk like she's outside, indoors, that kind of thing. But socially, they just both are at a point where, they just can't really, other children don't understand, you know what I mean? And they get, they really don't have a place, socially, sometimes we think of autistic people just being like quirky and whatever. But no, with my children, they fall on the spectrum where, like bringing up Rumi and Sir, they fall a little closer to where I think people see Sir and they think that Beyonce is hiding him and stuff like that, but maybe he's just not, on the level where everybody knows that autistic children can be sensitive to sounds and, lights and stuff like that. And then it's like when it comes to Rumi, I think that she displays some of those traits too. Like I know what it looks like, So what I mean?
How do you feel about people like inquiring on that, like noticing it and like expressing that they notice it? Like how do you feel about that, and how do you feel about reactions?
I think that those people who point it out, I think it's like they're right. You know what I mean? It's like, let's be real. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think the people who have a problem with that are projecting a bit. They see autism as something that's like a bad thing. Or I feel like, you do have people that are coming from Beyonce because she has, this image of being perfect. And I do think people think that they're, like kind of taking her down a peg by saying, oh, her kids are autistic, like, finding a flaw, but at the same time, I think that other people are just calling it like they see it. You know what I mean? What's the point of pretending like we don't have eyes and we don't see what clearly, looks like? And I think some people, because I've seen a lot of people say stuff like, she's just excited, she was just excited, being an excited child. But
and she's 7.
And,
she's
right,
7, turning 8 this year.
Right. And it's like, kids get excited, but most 7-year-olds know, I can't put my finger on it. It's, in my personal opinion, I think that, she's displaying certain, characteristics
signs,
of excitement, of children on the spectrum. And I think that some people, their response is, like I said, projection, because maybe they feel like autism is something bad. And, you know, it's kind of like, oh, they think that the people who are pointing it out, they're getting defensive at people pointing it out because they assume that everyone who's pointing it out is coming from a malicious place. And that's not true. Because if we're going to talk about raising awareness for autism, then, you know, it's good to know the signs. Because like I said, a lot of people think that it's just being quirky and all this other kind of stuff, but nobody really wants to talk about the children who, you know, like, you know, it's more than just quirks. You know, it's them not understanding social cues. It's them not understanding that, you know, maybe you shouldn't bounce around on the stage like that, you know, and you know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's just projection. You know, and people think that, a lot of people say that she's hiding her, and I take offense to that.
I think she's protecting him.
Like, exactly. That's what I've had. You know, my mother, she feels like, oh, well, Beyonce, she's hiding him and she needs to bring him out because, you know, that's going to bring so much. But it's like, you don't understand. I'm trying to tell her, like, you don't understand what it feels. She's trying to protect him. You know how I told you I had relatives that, you know, other relatives, in-laws who, you know, feel like I'm wrong for homeschooling, you know, but it's like, I'm trying to protect my child. You know what I mean? They don't get that. And I see Beyonce, she's trying to protect him, you know, and I don't even know why people think she would hide. Like, I don't see that she's so secretive about everything else. You know what I mean? It's
and then
like,
you see how Kanye West came out and just like straight up disrespected the kids like that.
Disrespectful, just ignorant, just straight ignorant. And people wonder why she don't want to say nothing about it, you know, because you got ignorant people like that. And, you know, but I don't think that there's anything wrong, honestly, with people pointing it out. Because, I mean, eventually, I think she's going to say something.
She has to.
It might not
they're going to get older.
Yeah.
They're going to get older.
Exactly. She's not going to be, because, you know, look at how long she hid Blue.
Yeah.
You know,
and they talked about her hair. That was crazy.
Exactly. And people act like, you know, that kind of stuff doesn't, like Beyonce doesn't have feelings. You know what I mean? And it's like, she might be able to handle people talking about her, you know, and her husband and stuff like that. But your kids, that hits different. You know, nobody wants their kids to be, you know, ridiculed and stuff like that. And yeah, she wants to protect her children away from that. And
I remember Jay-Z said, like, when they were talking about, I think it was in the Renaissance movie, because I saw the movie, and like they were talking, like they were all talking, like, you know, they had little interviews or whatever, and Jay-Z was saying, like, because when Blue first came out and started dancing, like, you know, she was kind of nervous at first. And he was just saying, like, how he wanted to protect her because, like, he was saying, like, you know, my kids didn't ask for this.
Right.
This
exactly.
life.
The fame.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you feel about, so like when you first, you know, started, you know, learning about, your children on the spectrum, like because I think I remember you telling me, like, the doctors said that they may not be able to do certain things, and then they are doing certain things. Like, talk about that real quick.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty. So, you know, it's like when you ask the doctor questions, like, when will they be able to do this and will they do that? One doctor straight up told me, he was like, it's just going to be when he's ready, you know, talking about Xavier. Like, whenever in his mind, his brain decides that it's ready to cross a certain milestone or developmental milestone, it's so much unpredictability, you know, with it. And because he wasn't, at this point, Xavier wasn't talking. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to hear him talk at one point. You know, we put him in speech therapy, but at this point, because, you know, a lot of autistic children, it can take a lot longer for them to reach certain milestones. So it's like everybody else's child is talking by the time they reach the toddler stage, but your kid is only able to say a handful of words, you know. And
how did you feel about when he started talking, though? How did you feel about when he started talking?
Honestly, you know, as he started doing it, looking back, I'm grateful. I never thought, it was times where I didn't think that my child would be able to, you know, say mommy, you know, or say like mommy, you know, anything, just one thing. And, you know, looking back, I wish I didn't worry so much, but we've come a long way. Like, I'm so grateful to God how far we've come, you know, and sometimes I can't get him to stop talking these days. So it's like, you know, he still has, you know, if you spoke to him, you could tell that, you know, his language is, you know, his speech is is different, you know, but we've come such a long way. And, you know, therapy definitely helps, you know, and that's another thing, you know, all the therapy, you know, it's a lot of trial and error, and you come across people who, you know, they, you know, you just swap out people, you know,
they're not a good fit.
You know, and stuff like that. And then, you know, it's a ride. Like, it's a ride. This whole journey, you know, it's hard. It's very, very hard.
How did you realize that Zoe, when did you realize about Zoe?
With Zoe, Zoe was different because at first, you know, she didn't show a lot of this, you know, symptoms that he did. You know, she did turn her head when you would call her name and stuff like that, you know, but with her, like with Xavier, she wasn't talking. You know, she was, you know, she would probably say like mommy and daddy and stuff, and she was more vocal, but she wasn't really talking.
Like putting sentences together.
And then another thing was Zoe had a bad fighting problem. She would bite, and I'm not even talking like when she was just like 2 years old, all the way up to like 3 and 4. And that's when around the time she got her diagnosis. And, you know, it was just, you know, usually when you have a child on the spectrum, they usually, you know, suggest that you go and get any, you know, other children you have tested, because when you have one autistic child, you know, your risk of having another one. I mean, I don't want to say risk, but you know, the likelihood, that you will have another autistic child is, you know, higher. You know, so it was almost as if, I'm not going to say we expected it, but we just wanted to go ahead and, you know, be proactive and get her tested anyway. You know, and honestly, I was hoping that she, you know, wasn't going to be, because like I said, it was so much uncertainty. She didn't show a lot of the symptoms that he did, but apparently the doctor felt like she did. And, you know, it was one point where I thought, you know, Zoe was going to be a bit more advanced than Xavier, but they actually put her in classes that were more, you know, secluded, or, you know, like special, you know, education classes, whereas they felt Xavier was ready to go to mainstream classes. And I told you that, you know, earlier, like, I didn't agree with that decision.
Yeah, and that's why you decided to homeschool Xavier.
Yeah, you know, because like I said, you notice, you know, and I will walk, you know, Xavier didn't ride the bus or anything like that. I would walk him, you know, to and from school or whatever. And so it's like I'm around these kids, and he was different, you know, from these other children, you know, he was just different, you know, he didn't have, you know, any friends, you know, or anything like that, you know, because like I said, children are children, you know, they don't really understand,
right,
you know,
and their children can be really cruel,
very cruel, you know, and it's like, you know, Xavier would tell me that, you know, he would tell me that they would laugh at him, you know, sometimes, or he'll say people are mean to me, you know, and stuff, and I tried to explain, you know, autism to them. So, you know, Zoe, she's very curious about it, you know, and I try to explain, because I want them to be empowered. You know, I want them to learn about it and, you know, tell, you know, like people, like, you know, in real, like, you know, out in their life, you know, about it on their own terms. And, you know, to be proud. I don't want them, you know, I tell them God makes everybody different, you know, and, you know, and like I said before, sometimes, like with this stuff with Beyonce's children, sometimes adults, in my opinion, can be even worse than children, you know, and, because a lot of adults, you know, they see, like I said, I think that people are projecting, and they think that autism is something bad, and, you know, it's like if people are saying, oh yeah, Rumi and Sir, you know, yeah, they're showing something, nobody's saying that that's bad. You know what I mean?
They're just they're being observant.
Yeah, they're being observant. You know, I think people need to unpack why they feel like like I said, you know, some people are trying to knock Beyonce down the peg, you know, trying to find that flaw. But I think that, you know, for other people who are just, you know, like pointing out, you know, like trying to raise awareness, I think, you know, some people are projecting because they feel like autism should be something, at least autism that looks like that. Because, like I said, a lot of people are okay with claiming autism or embracing it if the person is like a genius or something, you know, or like a, you know, real smart or something like that, or, you know, an artist. And a lot of people, you know, even lower functioning autistic people can be those things, geniuses, you know, like savant abilities, you know. I don't know. Remember that time we were at Uncle Junior's house for something, and Xavier, I think Marcus or someone played something on the piano, and Xavier played it right back. And he's never played the piano before. You know? I
think Marcus, because I think Marcus was letting his child play piano because Mason was playing piano, and I think he was playing a certain thing, and then Xavier played it right after.
Yeah,
something like that.
Xavier's never played the piano before, and it's like stuff like that, and there's other really like smart, you know, like they call it savant abilities that he can do, you know. So it's like people are cool when it comes to that. I feel like, let's say for example, Beyonce posted a video of Rumi in third, you know, doing some genius level whatever, and people said, oh, you know, they might be on the spectrum. I don't feel like the response will be the same.
Yeah, it'll be glamorized.
Be like, it would, exactly. It'll be glamorized because you know that's the kind, you know, of all, that's the brand of autism that people are comfortable with. But when this, you know, the little kid that, you know, you can't really necessarily take to certain places, or it's the child that's like really hyper and stuff, you know, on stage, or, you know, they might talk a certain way, or, you know, whatever. That's when people, when you point those symptoms out, oh, you know, why are you trying to, you know, label them and da-da-da. It's nothing wrong with pointing out, you know, autistic people who show those traits, you know, like, and it's like, you know, people talk all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we all talk about celebrities and their children, maybe not necessarily bad things, you know, all the time. I mean, a lot of it's bad, but it's like, you know, I don't see the problem with people pointing that out. You know, like, is that, I don't know. Like, is that what, because sometimes, like I said, me and my mother, we have gone back and forth about this. She feels like Beyonce, I don't know.
You know, she old school. Like, she old school.
Right. Yeah. You know, so she think Beyonce owes it to whoever to, you know, like, no, that's advocate. Not. Yeah, you know, and it's like maybe one day she will be, but at the same time, I don't, you know, Beyonce knows people have eyes, you know, and people are going to whatever, but, you know, I think that, like, you know, like you said, people like Kanye West, they're so ignorant about it, and they get so ugly about it, so people assume that that's what everybody's pointing out, you know, the autism, like, you know, that her children have autism, that's what they're saying, like they're coming from a malicious place like Kanye West, but that's not what it is, you know. Some people are just, you know, saying, okay, and it's like, I don't know, I think it should be normalized. Yeah. Because
it should be normalized because it is normal. Like, all of these things are normal. Like, all of these things, like, are normal. Like, if you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, so. Okay, well, I appreciate you taking the phone call.
Thank you. I never get to talk about this topic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. We should do this again. Yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah, we should.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to take too much of your time, so I'm about to finish up the episode. But thanks for answering the phone.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right, girl.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
That was my older cousin, Jasmine. She's a mother of 2. She's married. She has a beautiful family. And her husband works. Her husband has a job. He holds down the household. You know, some of y'all husbands don't do that. Some of y'all don't got husbands. Some of y'all man don't do that. So, you know. Anywho, it was such a nice, like, informative. Now I gotta be ignorant. Now I gotta be ignorant.
That was amazing conversation.
Anywho, okay, yeah. So that was beautifully said. Yes. That was great. That was great. I'm gonna send her the TikTok that I saw too. Yes. How do you feel, J-Rob?
I feel great.
Do you have any one in your family do you have autism in your family, or?
No, I know. I have friends with autistic kids. Yeah. I don't think I had none in my family though. Not that I know of.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully, you know. Again, I want to be respectful, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, and you know, so I know we're talking about Beyonce. You know, when Beyonce gets thrown around, people get, you know, real edgy. So it's just like, I just want to make sure that like it's respectful, and I'm speaking on it because I have autism in my family, and I thought that it was a good enlightening segment for the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Moving along. Lastly, back to the bullshit. Just real quick, and it's just super quick. This is just super duper quick. I just wanted to say this though. Ice Spice, I have an idea of what you're doing. Maybe I'm just not sure why you're doing it, if that makes sense. Like, so apparently Ice Spice and Sauce Gardner made it Instagram official. I get okay. Oh, you don't know who that is? He plays for the new. So Sauce Gardner
is
who is he? Who is he?
He played for.
What?
I forgot who he played for.
But what sport is it?
Football.
Okay. Damn, I thought I got him. Fuck. But so Sauce Gardner is he is a cornerback for the New York Jets. Yeah. He's 24 years old. Yeah. What's his real name? I hope is his real name Sauce? Hold on, let me see something. Is his real name Sauce?
That's his real name. Yeah,
Child, you know what? He probably got one of them young mamas. Say no, let me stop playing. Hold on. Let me see. No, it's not. It's Ahmad. His name is Ahmad.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
His name ain't no damn Sauce.
I mean, some people name Sauce.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But damn. Anywho, so apparently Ice Spice and Sauce Gardner made an Instagram official. Here's the thing, right? With Ice Spice, because her there's been like interviews where like her management has mentioned like she's very calculated. They're very calculated when it comes to like placing her in certain situations. And when she first came out, she was definitely I'm not calling her an industry plant. I'm not doing that. But when she first came out and she first hit with that song Munch, she was definitely catapulted and placed in certain situations, the Met Gala, certain fashion shows, getting certain features all of a sudden, like wow, you have a Taylor Swift feature that fast, oh my gosh, Nicki Minaj feature, this feature, that feature, whatever. And they said that the management has said they're very calculated in their movements. And I remember when she had a song with Central C, she had a whole rollout for the song she had with Central C. And, during the rollout, they tried to make it seem like they were dating. It was a point where like they were in a restaurant and like they propped the camera to make it seem like they were being secretly recorded and they didn't know. But, all of a sudden, like they were secretly recorded. It made the Shade Room. And then like a week later, oh my God, they have a song out. They have a new song coming out type shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, but whole time, like to my understanding, I thought she was in a relationship with Riot, her producer. No, they are, or they were, or whatever. Yeah, so that's my understanding. She was really in a relationship with her producer, and she was doing all these stunty things while she was in a relationship with the producer. To my understanding. So now with this whole Sauce Gardner thing, which is super random, they're making it Instagram official, and they're being seen courtside, and they're doing all these things like. It just seems so staged, like the way things are, like it just sometimes certain things seem so staged. So I'm just waiting on, like I said, I thought she was with Riot in real life, the producer, which is kind of weird because like this is your producer, he produces all of your shit, and then you're with, so it's like it, and I guess he's in on it because I mean, where the money reside, I guess, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But it's just like, so like I think my question is, why is this always the formula for her? And if this is always the formula, if this is the go-to formula for her, why? Why can't, and again, I don't know what they do behind the scenes. I don't know what they're recording behind it. I don't know. But like, why can't it be an authentic artist development or something with her? Like, why does it always have to be some type of stunt and some type of, she has to be attached to a guy to get on the headlines, and then the next week she's putting out an album or some shit. I don't know. This whole Sauce Gardner thing is random as fuck, and I thought she was with her producer. That's all I'm saying. And it's just like, y'all propped up the picture with the Instagram, y'all sitting courtside at the whatever game y'all was at, and it's just all of a sudden it's crazy. It's wild. Like, what is this? So I don't know if y'all selling some shit or if it's, I don't know, but it's just like, or maybe I shouldn't expect so much from Ice Spice. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem.
Possibly.
Maybe I'm the problem. You know what? It's me. I'm the problem. Anyway, go ahead. Do your little thing. Do your little stunts, girl. I just wanted to say that. That's all. Anywho, that's it for me. Did you have anything that you wanted to discuss before we log out today, J-Rob?
Nah, I had nothing to talk about.
I got so let's go to the shows, y'all. I don't really have a list of shows. I just have one show. I promised y'all I was going to talk about the damn Could Have Been reunion today, and I'm going to real quick, quick, because I do want to log off.
Why did you just do that?
I hate how I love this goddamn show. This trash ass ignorant shit. I hate how I love it. But the reunion was edited it was chopped up to pieces, honey. It was edited down to the ground, honey. So a couple things. So I'm annoyed that y'all couldn't show the damn fights. Well, no, hold on. Okay. Two things I'm annoyed by. Y'all did confront the girl, the Lebanese girl, for saying the N-word and stuff like that. I just feel like the black girls on the stage really didn't give her the pressure that she needed. I don't know what really happened, because again, it was chopped up and edited down. You could tell it was chopped up and edited to pieces. So I don't know if anyone really took her, made her accountable. I mean, the girl that Southside, the one that got eliminated the first episode, she acted like she pressed her behind the scenes, and which is cool, right? And then the girl Bay, the Lebanese girl that said the N-word, she was like, yeah, I'm sorry, da 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 da. But then she kept saying nigga again after the fact, when like people in the audience was like, bitch, you not black. So it's like, what's going on? Like, you say you sorry, but then you say you love black people. You say that you got a black stepfather, and then people in the audience is not thinking that your apology isn't good enough, and you over there saying nigga again, and then the black girls on stage they're not doing anything. And then like I feel like the Southside girl wanted to do something to her, but then Meatball was like, no, Southside, sit down, just like whatever. Like they weren't really giving what they needed to give. And then Switcheroo was across the stage saying like, what the fuck, bitch, like press this bitch, because Southside was too busy trying to fight, y'all gonna see, listen, Gerald don't know, I know, we know. Southside was too busy trying to mop up the other black girl across the stage, but you got this one girl next to you saying the N-word again after you allegedly pressed her backstage and made her say sorry on camera. She's saying it again, and you're not rumbling with her on some, like, this for your ancestors. This for your ancestors. Like, what, bitch? What? Like, how you gonna try to fight the black bitch across the stage? But then this girl, this non, she's not white, but this non-black girl saying the N-word, and you not mopping, you not pressing her like you said you was gonna press her, like you said you was gonna do if she didn't say sorry. Like, what? That was weird. But again, it was edited to pieces, so I don't know what else happened. But I just feel like the black girls on stage didn't really give, and I feel like Southside kind of wanted to do something, but she didn't do it because like Meatball didn't approve of it, and like it was like one black stud that was sitting right next to the girl, like saying the N-word like again, and she didn't do nothing. So that was weird. Like, if you going to like speak up, then speak up and step up, but like don't let the bitch like keep saying it when she's arguing, and like that's weird. But again, it was edited, so I don't know what else. I don't know. It was a lot to get to in that reunion, so they had to edit it up. And maybe I'm tripping. I thought reunions were like 1 and 2 parts. Like it was a part 1 and a part 2. I don't know, but I guess this was the only part they want to give us. The second thing that annoys me, I know that the show was on YouTube, so they can't straight up show the fights, because every time they would go side each other head, they'd be scrapping. Every time they would start scrapping, J-Rob, they had to pixelate the screen because it's on YouTube. Right. They can't really go in on YouTube like that. Facts. Drewski, because I was watching Castanat stream when he was reacting to the whole episode, and he was just like, Drewski, listen, like put the fight up on Twitter or something. We need to see it unedited. We need to see it. Drewski, I think that I love this whole Could Have Been brand that you're doing. I think your next venture needs to be, I don't know if you need to follow the Zeus route and maybe make your own app and then put the footage up there so we can see it raw and uncut, or just call up Lemmy or whatever and sell him season 2, and you can really show the real fights on there, because I'm tired of this damn blurred out. I want to see the fights, and I'm tired of the chopped up like hyper editing. Like it's too, like, no, give me the shit that we want. We want to see these hoes scrap. Period. I'm breaking a sweat. God damn, am I sweating, J-Rob? Ooh, Lord of mercy. Lord have mercy. I wish I had a Trini accent. If y'all didn't know, my dad's side of the family's from Tobago, so I'm Trini or whatever. Like I'm like half like West Indian. Like I have Caribbean heritage. You know what I'm saying?
You're Americanized.
I'm American. I'm like I only been to Tobago once, but like I have like Caribbean heritage. Like I say I don't say plantain. I say plantain. Like and I know how to make. Like I know how to like I love duck, and I love fucking dough and mango and bake and shit like that. But I wish I had a goddamn accent. That would be so. Imagine me like this with a Trini accent. Oh my god.
Oh, it'd be different. You gotta go back and live over there for like a few years.
Wooey. Anywho, if I ever get famous, my Wikipedia page is going to be like Afro Trinidadian on the thing. Watch when it says like, listen to how you go and like on the Wikipedia page it says early life and it tells you like, oh, her parents are, her mom is of such and such and her dad is and she's of this descent. It's going to give Afro Trini descent period because they're going to have to say it because my birth certificate. My dad was born in Trinidad, so they're gonna have to say that because they're gonna get my files and they're gonna have to say it, and they're gonna say, and then Google's gonna, even though I'm from PG County, it's gonna say DC because I was born in a DC hospital, you know. So it's like they're gonna say it's gonna say all that shit. Anyway, why did I say that? I don't know why I said that.
For your so it had an accent.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So there's that. Like Drewski, go to Zeus or some shit. I want to see the fights. I want to see the fights, and this too edited down. It's chopped. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. It's YouTube, man. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. Like, come on.
This show got you.
Get your own,
crazy.
like, you know, Drewski, make your own app. Could have been TV, or could have been media, or could have been something. Put the shit on there. I'll pay the $3. It's fine. I'll pay the $3. Do it. Do it.
Could have been. All right.
Could have been love. Could have been. Anywho, okay, well that's it for me. J Rob, did you want to say anything else before we log out? In regards to shows or any music, and I don't have any music to discuss. I haven't listened to Coco Jones yet. I
need
will
a new
do that.
show to watch. I just finished Jamie Foxx joint.
What?
The show.
His show.
I rewatched a lot
of
what?
Don't go. Here I come, here I come, here I come. Tonight's the night. You can check out my flow. Time to get it started. You know what to do.
Log off.
Ain't that the song? Ain't that the song that he played? Because he had two theme songs.
Yeah, he had two. Yeah.
If you only do. Here I come once again. Here comes Jamie Foxx. That's how the song. That's my favorite version.
Huh?
That's my favorite version.
Oh, the second one.
That's the second one, right?
I think
yeah. That's my favorite one. He was singing down. Here I come, here I come.
No, I think that might have been the first one. Either one. But
they canceled that Wayans show, Papa's House. They canceled it.
Oh, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't knowing what to do.
I need to rewatch My Wife and Kids. I need to rewatch the Bernie Mac show, but I don't want to get too emotional because I be forgetting that he passed away and shit. Sometimes I'll be getting too emotional and shit. Yeah, but that show was funny as hell.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
But I gotta watch it.
That was a good ass show.
It was.
We had some good black television back in the day.
Good.
Damn, I couldn't believe when Cat Williams said that Steve Harvey stole from Hanging with Mr. Cooper, I was like, damn, that he did steal from him. That's fucked up.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And how did you feel about when you found out that Steve Harvey wore a headpiece?
I ain't feel no way.
Did you Did you ever think that it was real back in the, I thought it was real too. I thought you had a nice fade.
I thought he had a good fade.
But damn, that was all. It was all fake.
Crispy fade the entire time.
Mm-hmm, period.
I don't care. I don't care what nigga have his whole surgery. I don't care.
Anywho, y'all. All right, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm on YouTube. HER_D the podcast. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all those good things. TikTok, Herd Pod, HERDPOD on TikTok. Follow there, share, repost all the stuff, comment, all that stuff. Listen, if you follow me, I can make some money and I can give you some more good shit. Okay?
It's like a car salesman or something.
I thought I sounded like Chris Rock.
Oh, okay.
Give me your money. Is that not what? Anywho, guys, thank you again for listening to Her the Podcast. We're on all podcast streaming platforms of your choice. Thank you. Bye. Love you. Go ahead. Hit the camera off, J-Rob.
What?
Cut the camera off.
It's off.
It went off?
Yeah. Battery's on like 3.
It cut off already?
No, it didn't.
Cut it off now. Stop. Cut it off.
Why you don't get to behind the scenes?
Cut it off.
Get behind the scenes.
I want to do some TikToks after this. Hurry up. So I want to do some TikToks.
You can do